Everybody, what the fuck's going on? Nah, we back. UFC 300 was crazy. I just had to catch y'all attention with that shit. I look like a mess, but it's okay. How about Max Holloway? How about Max fucking Holloway with 2 seconds to go? I feel bad for Gaethje though. He lost all the momentum he had going, man. That shit is crazy. Fucking Alex Pereira, I told you, long live Sway. He's forever Sway. It was always Alex Pereira KO first round. UFC 300 was crazy, but guess what? We got something crazier looking at. I got UFC Vegas 91. Let's talk about it. I got I got every fight covered. Hold on, guys. Y'all gonna lose me for a second. I need to plug this shit in. Oh, you heard that? You heard that? Every fight covered from the first fight to the last fight. Let's go, y'all. Let's fucking go. The first fight of the night, Mahashate. I don't know. That's how you say it, Mahashate. He is 4-1 when it comes to TKO, 1-0 when it comes to submission, 4-2 when it comes to decision. He's 24 years old and he is crazy. Like his significant strikes landed per minute is like 2.91, but he gets hit with like 4.9 strikes per minute. So he's willing to, get hit to get his shot in. So he really trusts his chin. That's what that tells you. Mahashate is taking on. Oh, get my shit ready. Mahashate is taking on very, very bad card, guys. Mahashate, the fuck? What can I remember? Gabriel Benitez. Gabriel Benitez just fought Jim Miller. He got submitted by Jim Miller, I believe. But he is a veteran. He's a crafty veteran. He's a really good kickboxer. He is the better fighter in this matchup. Mahashate is just younger and more exciting. That's all I could say. He's 20, like I said, he's a minus 250 favorite. This fight is at lightweight, and he's coming off two losses in a row. He's coming off with a decision loss to Rafa Garcia and a loss to uh, Borishev, where he got knocked out. So if he loses this fight, he might get cut from the UFC. My official pick for this fight, guys, man, I think it's fight to not go to distance. I think it's the first fight of the night for a reason. And you're getting that at minus 190 odds. It's a good piece, maybe a two leg, to put in a two-leg parlay to get plus odds. But I think that's the best thing for this fight. Mahashate doesn't even have that much of a reach advantage. If he did have a little bit of a reach advantage, I would trust him a little more here. But since he doesn't, I'm going with fight to not go to distance. I do think Gabriel Benitez could come out with a sneaky win here and just like Mahashate has already like seen that next level of competition and he's lost. He's lost the decision and he's gotten knocked out. So I don't think anything is going to change here. Gabriel Benitez is coming off that loss though. He is 23-12, crafty veteran, a great kickboxer. And he's willing to get hit. That's the thing. But Mahashati does have power in those hands. So I do think the fight to not go to distance. I think both guys have finishing ability. Like when it comes to Mahashate, 4-1. When it comes to TKO, Gabriel Benitez, he's uh, Gabriel Benitez, 9-4 TKO, 10-3 submission, and 4-4 decision. Like, come on, guys, this shit is crazy. Like, this fight is not gonna go to the scorecards. Let me tell you all that much. Man, moving on though. Next fight, I don't want to talk about it too much. Ivana Petrovic versus Na Liang. I think Na Liang at plus 390 is a fucked. It's a fucked up you know it's just fucked up. She's only got 6 fights. Ivana Petrovich does. She's 3-0 when it comes to TKO, 2-0 when it comes to the submission, and 1-1 when it comes to decisions. She was basically a can crusher her first couple of fights. She is pretty young still. She's only 29, so she's kind of entering her prime, but she lost to Luana Carolina in her last fight, who was 8-4. I don't see why she's a minus 520 favorite in this fight, guys. Um, Nali Yang, she's got good takedowns, but she's coming off 3 losses in a row. But when it comes to submissions, she's 11-2. So I think Nali Yang, it's worth it to sprinkle a little bit on her submission prop because she's so good at the submission, 11-2. That's some plus 750 odds. I know she hasn't been submitted yet or submitted ever, Petrovich, but even at plus 1200 now Liang to win. I think the odds are all wrong here, guys. I think you stay away from this fight or you put a little money on Na Liang. What I do like for this fight though is fight to go to distance plus 205 odds. I think they expect the finish here. I think Na Liang is gonna wrestle a lot and she's gonna like do a lot of clinching against the fence, and this fight's gonna go to distance, guys. So official pick for that is fight to go the distance or plus 3.5. Na Liang, she's at plus 205. Fight to go Na Liang spread is plus 205. Fight to go the distance, I'm sorry, is plus 225. So plus odds right there, single bet. I like it. I think it's a women's fight. A lot of the women's fights go to decision. I don't see why the odds are so wide on here on this fight with Ivana Petrovich and Na Liang. Moving on, James Lantop versus Chris Padilla. Chris Padilla is making his UFC debut, and James Lantop is a fucking dog. He's like one of the first Peruvian fighters we've ever seen, and he knocks people out. 7-0 when it comes to knockouts, and eight and one when it comes to decision. Not really too much of a submission game. 1-1 when it comes to submission, and he's 1-0 in the Contender Series, and I think he's making his UFC debut. Yeah, he is. His last fight was a decision, and he's been beating good competition: 6-1, 20-9, 20-11, 5-0, set, 12-7. He's beating guys that aren't complete cans, so that's how you know he's pretty decent. The odds are wide here, guys. Chris Padilla is taking this fight on short notice, but I think Lantop first round KO. I just think it's worth it to parlay it. James Lantop to win by KO in the first round is plus 215. Um, if you think, I don't think Chris Padilla basically has fought these can crusher. He is basically a can crusher. He's 4-1 in his last five, and he is a finisher. He's got knockouts. He's got a rear naked choke here, another knockout. Lost the split decision to a guy that was 20-12. He's losing to guys that are 6-4. Lost to Nate Andrews, who was 12-1 at the time. I mean, he's winning. He's beating guys that are 12-22 though, 7-6, 15-11. Like, um, I'm all over James Lantop here. He's minus 445 for the money line. If you want to take the spread, I like the spread as well as a parlay piece. Minus 3.5 is minus 250 for James Lantop here. He's a great striker, guys. Don't miss out on that fight. But I think the best bet is uh to fight to win James Lantop to win in round one or round two. That is the best option for that fight because I don't think Chris Padilla can hang with this guy. His striking is just too fucking good. Moving on, Caitlin Souza versus Marnik Man. I got some notes on this fight. I don't know why I got some notes on this fight, but I fucking do. Let me find them. If I can't find them, I ain't even gonna talk about this shit. um, Marnik Man. Let me see. Marnik Man. Fight to go the distance, minus 225 for Souza and Marnik, man. Souza's at minus 345 favorite. I think fight to go the distance is the best bet here. Minus 225 parlay piece. Next fight, it's a fucking coin toss, in my opinion. It's a heavyweight fight. Dontel Mace versus Chao Machado. And minus 112 for Machado, minus 108 for Dontel Mays. Um, this fight's gonna go to distance. It's gonna be boring as fuck. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't think either guy finds a knockout. Fight to go to distance, minus 150. There you go. I ain't even talking about that fight because it's gonna be boring as fuck. But this guy, Chow Machado, or Machado, his fucking nickname. You guys want to know what his fucking nickname is? Bigfoot. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty fucking crazy. He just lost to Mick Parkin, which isn't a bad loss to have. Mick Parkin um uh did beat Muhammad Usman recently. It was a close fight though. So it's not a terrible loss to have, and he took him to decision. Dontel May is like known for going to decisions. He did give what's his name from France. Fuck. Fuck John Jones. Why the fuck can't I remember it right now? Cyril Gahn. He did give Cyril Gahn some trouble. If I had to pick a fighter, I would pick Dontel Mays here, but Machado, I think, is the younger guy. He's I think he's making his UFC debut. Actually, you know what? Give me Machado in this fight. Minus 112 odds. I also think it goes over 2.5, minus 180. If you want to take that. Next fight, man, I'm excited for this one. We got a Polish guy finally, Michał Figlak at minus 180 odds. He was at plus 150 odds originally when this fight first got booked. Taking on Austin Hubbard, who is plus 150 right now. So the odds have flipped. Mia, I feel like I watched a lot of his tape. He's super well rounded. I think his striking's good. He doesn't have too much power in the hands. Austin Hubbard is, he got signed to the UFC off of you not the Contender Series, but the what is it? The fucking give me a second. UFC the Ultimate Fighter, and he won a split decision there. He lost to Kurt Holloway, which isn't a, you know, Kurt Holloway is a tough fight for anybody, especially at 155 because he's so rangy. But man, he is 4-0 when it comes to TKO, 3-3 when it comes to submission, and 8-4 when it comes to decision. I think Michał Figlak, he had a tough first fight with Fares Ziam in his UFC debut. I think he's live for a knockout here, but I think it's better to play the money line here. Even the minus 3.5, I don't mind here. But I think Figlak wins the decision here. That's what I would go with. Figlak to win a decision is plus 130. Double chance to win by TKO or decision minus 165. So it's just better off to pick a as the money line. Austin Hubbard he's gonna try to wrestle, but I think Figlak he is a little undersized for 155, but he's so well rounded, guys. His striking's there, the grappling's there, the jiu-jitsu is not really there, but he's got time to work on it. He's still young, and it's only his second fight in the UFC. Still 27. Austin Hubbard, he's pretty young too, I believe. He's 32. So I got Michał Figlak. Man, I'm never gonna go against my Polish people. But that's the pick for that fight, minus 180, Michał Figlak. Moving on, Ronnie Yaya, fucking 40 years old, still competing. This fight is at bantamweight. Ronnie Yaya versus Victor Henry. Victor Henry is minus 450 going into this fight. I think, or minus 410. I think Ronnie Yaya could hang. I think it's possible that he gets a submission because Ronnie Yaya is 28-11 overall. But when it comes to submission, he is 21-1. So if Victor Henry does not play it smart, he may be submitted by Ronnie Yaya. Rani Yaya to win by submission. Hey, it's worth it to throw a little money on it. Plus 800. I'm not saying he's gonna win because Victor Henry is a dog, but man, this fight is tough. I think you just sit back and enjoy it. Either Victor Henry knocks him out or wins a decision, or Rani Yaya submits him. I think the odds are off. I think Raniaya, you can see him aging though, and the age really does show at the lower weight classes, especially when you're 40 fighting at bantamweight. So it's tough because the odds are just so off. We're gonna go with he's 0-3 when it comes to TKO. I think Victor Henry wins the decision here, but Iraniaya is live for a submission, 21-1 when it comes to submission in the UFC. There is alternate chance of victory. Um, you could do Victor Henry by decision or Ronnie Ayat to win by submission minus 135. But at that point, just throw a little money at the submission prop for Ronnie Ayat because he's live for it for sure. Moving on, Tim Means. Man, Tim Means, he's been around for a while, taking on Euros, the Doctor Medic. Tim Means 33-15 overall. He's 40 years old. He's 20-2 when it comes to TKO, 5-7 when it comes to submission, and 8-8 when it comes to decision, guys. Um I'm a big fan of Tim Means, but Uros Medic, like I said, like this fight is a welterweight bout. Uros Medic, he fucked me over in my last fucking bet. So I'm like hesitant to pick him, but he is the better. I think he's gonna be too big for Tim Means here. I want to pick Tim Means, but I think Eros Medic gets the victory here. He's just gonna be a little bit too much, but I do love over 1.5 here for the fight overall. It's at minus 145. I think Tim Means definitely can hang around with Eros Magic. It's not like Eros Magic is this Khabib, crazy coming out of Dagestan, this crazy prospect. So Eros Medic is a dog though, and I do think over 1.5 hits. I do think Tim Means can survive that 1.5 rounds. So over 1.5 is gonna be the pick for this fight. If I had to lean though, I'm picking Tim Means. I just always been a fan, and the only thing that worries me is the age. There's like a 10-year age gap here, So Tim Means is 40, and Eros Medic, he's 9-2. He's 31, so it's a 9-year age gap, and 7 wins by TKO, and a lot of them are in the first round. That last fight against Orobai did not look good, but still, I mean, Tim Means might just be a better level of competition though in this fight. Might be worth it to throw on the spread plus 3.5 uh for Tim Means at plus 150. But I do love over 1.5 in this fight. Eros Medic is a prospect, so if it's a close fight, they are gonna give it to him, I think. Um, Official pick for that fight over 1.5 minus 145 odds. Moving on, y'all. We got Jonathan Pierce versus David Onama. Jonathan Pierce, he's 31 years old. He's 9-1 when it comes to TKO, 2-3 when it comes to submission, 3-1 when it comes to the decision. He's coming off a loss to Joe Anderson Brito, in which he was winning, but then he made a bad decision. Before that, he was on a 5-fight win streak, beating opponents who were of records like 8-2, 11-1, 7-0, 17-7. I think Jonathan Pierce, he's so good at applying that pressure, guys. Like he's constantly gonna be coming forward. He can get caught by David Onama. Let me get into David Onama before I give you the official pick. David Onama, 11-2, 29 years old. He's 7-0 when it comes to TKO, 4-0 when it comes to submission, and 0-2 when it comes to decision. Uh, he he's 3-2 in his last 5 fights. He's beaten Gabriel Benitez, who's also on this card. Beat a lot of Gabriel Santos. He lost to Nate Landwehr in a majority decision. Also lost to Mason Jones in a majority decision. But it's not he's his first couple fights, he's a total can crusher, beating guys who are 0-1, 11-13, 2-0, 8-4, 16-11. And then when he gets to step up in competition, I think, he kind of folds. The only path to victory for David Onama here is a knockout. I think Jonathan Pierce gets it done. Minus 148 money line is gonna be the pick for this fight. I hate to go against Jacob, my boy. We won't pick lock of the week, but I love Jonathan Pierce here. He's just stylistically, it's just a bad matchup for David Onama. Moving on, we got former fucking NFL player Austin Lane, 36 years old, 6'6", 80-inch reach. He's just fucking a specimen, but he hasn't been winning his fights. 11-4 when it comes to TKO and one submission. His last fight, he lost to Justin Tafa, got knocked out in the first round. And honestly, guys, let me talk about this guy. And he also lost to Greg Hardy. I mean, he did go on a nice little win streak, but he was beating guys that are 5-9, 5-3, 6-3. Not great records. He's fighting Jonathan Diniz. 6-0 when it comes to TKOs. His record is 6-0. I think all of these came in the first round. Um, he has some kickboxing losses, so he does have like experience outside of just MMA. He was in Glory, like where Alex Pereira and Izzy came from. His first couple fights, he fought a guy that was 22 and 23, really just can crusher till his last fight where he fought in the Contender Series, Eduardo Neves, who was 7-1. I think Jonathan Diaz gets it done. Um, I think the knockout is minus 135 for this fight. Let me make sure. Oh God, it's minus 250. I think here groups of rounds. The best parlay you're gonna get here. Winner in groups of rounds. Jonathan Diaz to win in round one or two, minus 250. That's the best parlay piece. Or if you just, I think he might knock him out in the first round, and that's at minus 135. Guys, watch out for this guy. This fight is gonna be crazy. He's 32 years old. He's coming out of Brazil, 6'4", 79.5-inch reach, 255 pounds, basically almost at the heavyweight limit. I mean, we're watching like we'll see though. Let's hope it's not another fucking this guy's brother situation, Johnny Walker brothers or Walter Walker situation. But I think this guy does get it done, and I hope he doesn't gas out if it does go into the second round. If you want to be safe, go with that first or second round prop. And moving on, Karine Silva, 17-4, 30 years old, minus 162 odds coming into this fight. She is 5-0 in her last five. She's been getting arm bars, heel hooks, guillotine chokes, Darce chokes. She is a specialist in jiu-jitsu. 9-2 when it comes to submission, 8-1 when it comes to TKO, 0-1 when it comes to decisions. This girl has 21 professional fights and only one has gone to decision. That is crazy. I do love my baby though, Ariana Lipski. Why the fuck do these like Brazilian people sometimes they have like this like Polish sounding ass last name or like first name even, and then like it'll be like Da Silva on the betting sites. Like I feel like they have two different types of last names. But Ariana Lipski is 17-8. She is 6-4 when it comes to knockouts, 4-0 when it comes to submission. Also has some sneaky jiu-jitsu, 7-4 when it comes to decision. She's 6-5 in the UFC, and Karine Silva is 3-0 in the UFC. Guys, I do think Karine Silva gets it done here, man. I think she's gonna finally get a decision though. Ariana Lipski is a tough out. We're gonna go with Karine Silva minus 162. Um, she's just a dog, y'all. Like gets she finishes in so many different ways. Like, and she's 3-0 in the UFC already, beating Marina Moros, who is 11-4, beating Caitlin Souza, who's also on this card, I think, and that is 13-3. She beat Poliana Botelho, who was 8-4 at the time, beat a 22-3 opponent on the Contender Series. Karina Silva might be the real deal, and she might be the next, you know, problem at flyweight. I really feel like that. Moving on, guys, we got Ryan Spann. I think this is the easiest pick of the night against Bogdan Guskov. Bogdan Guskov is Bogdan Guskov. What the? Where are you at? All right, let's get into Ryan Spann first. Ryan Spann, he's 32 years old, 6'5", with an 81.5-inch reach. He is big for lightweight, and he's 21-9. 6-3 when it comes to TKO, 12-3 when it comes to submission, 3-3 when it comes to decision, 7-4 in the UFC. He's gonna have 2 losses in a row against Nikita Krylov, which is a tough fight, and Anthony Smith, which was a split decision that I think he won. He's beaten Dominic Reyes, Ian Cutelaba, lost to Anthony Smith twice. He's lost to Johnny Walker, but beat Sam Alvey, beat Devin Clark. He's not in the UFC anymore. He did lose to guys like Trevin Giles in a split decision and Carl Roberson though. Yeah, guys, this is a tough fight. I think Ryan Spann does get it done because of his grappling ability and because he is able to get those submissions. Bogdan's only real way to win is if he gets a knockout. He is 15-3, and he does look like exactly like Anthony Smith. It is fucking crazy to me how much he looks like Anthony Smith, guys. I mean, what the fuck? He's 31 years old. He's 13-1 when it comes to TKO, 2-1 when it comes to submission, and he is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He's 1-1 in the UFC. Just fought, beat Zach Pauga. He did lose to Volkan Ozdemir, who's a tough fight. Man, guys, my gut's telling me that Guskov might fucking get the knockout here at plus 200, but Ryan Spann, he's so like well rounded with it. I do think he can get it done, y'all. Like, this fight's tough. I think it's a stay away. Ryan Spann is minus 185 right now. Guskov is plus 154. I think the UFC wants to push Guskov, man. So we might see a knockout here. The smart pick is Ryan Spann, but let me give you guys this. This is gonna be the official pick for this fight. Fight to start round two. We're gonna go with yes plus 140 single bet. I think both guys are gonna have a feeling out process for sure. Moving on, main event: Mateus Nicolau, 19-3. In one. He's 31 years old. This fight is at flyweight. He's 5'6" with a 66-inch reach. 5-3 when it comes to TKO. 5-0 when it comes to submission. 9-0 when it comes to decisions. He just lost to Brandon Royval, but he beat Matt Schnell, beat Tim Elliott, beat Manel Kopp in a split decision. Um, he's beaten some good opponents. He is 7-2 in the UFC, which is a great record, and he is very well rounded. He has good striking, he has good grappling, and he has good jiu-jitsu. It's just he ran into Royval, who just beat Brandon Moreno somehow. Royval's a tough fucking fight. Let's talk about Alex Perez. Alex Perez, 2-year layoff, and then he fought Muhammad Makayev in a fight in which he just didn't do enough. Like, he could have won that fight because I had Alex Perez. I had a bet on Alex Perez. I thought Muhammad Makayev was gonna get fraud checked, but he just didn't do enough. He just had no output, you know. So it was like fuck. He could have won that fight. He lost to Alexandra Pantoja before that, lost to Figueiredo before that. I think Nicolau is the smart pick here, guys. Nicolau is minus 185. I do get the plus 5.5 for spread for Alex Perez. So I do think this fight's gonna go to the decision. Fight to go over 4.5 rounds is plus 105. Fight to go to distance is plus 120, guys. Man, this is a fucking shit card, y'all. But I made it through. Now it's time to go smoke a blunt. Long live Sway, forever Sway. Man, what the fuck is that? No, looking at I love you, man. I miss you. I'm doing this shit for you. We're going perfect today. And that Ryan Span Guskov fight is tough, man. A lot of tough fights here. A lot of people coming off losses too. Shit's fucking crazy. Have a good one. Peace, y'all. Stay safe, everybody, and enjoy this card tomorrow. Looking ass.